Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how I take my notes, what strategies that I use, what notes I take during lectures to make sure, I'm well organized and everything. So when taking notes, all I need is an iPad and a pen. I'm not the type of person to write or type on a laptop or write on a notebook. I mostly use a iPad throughout my whole OSU um, school years that I've been here at LA State University, and I use this pen to write notes on my iPad. Moving on to the iPad itself, the app that I use to take my notes is called this Notability. I believe it's a free app on App Store that you can download and you can take notes on. Pretty simple, it's pretty basic. All you have to do is just download it and you click on it, and then, well, I already have my notes here, but when you are new to the app, I believe it's all free spaced and there's no these in the side when you first start. But since I already started having notes on here, I have some notes laid out on the right side, and in the left column is where you have your classes that you want to put, like folders that you want to organize, so that you're well organized and you know where to go during which period of the class. So for example, right now I'm taking business HR 3100, so during that class, if I want to take notes, all I do is just click on that folder, that one. So far I have 13 notes that I've taken so far in this semester, but I click on that, and then these are all the notes that I've taken. Okay, now I'm gonna teach you how I actually start the process of taking the notes. So there's two ways that I do it. The first general way is basically you click on the left column after you hit what class you're at on here. The way that you can also create new folders, new classes, is by clicking on the add plus sign over here, and you can just add classes on there. After you select that, you click on the pen and blue color circle right here, and then this comes up. This is like a whole new page. This is where you use your pen, like connected to your iPad, and then you click on these options here. This is the color that you want it, and there's also a highlight where you can highlight stuff. There's the eraser here, you can erase the whole thing. And I have never used these other tools, but I believe this is like making it so that it selects certain area of it, and then if you click on this arrow back, it goes back to undo that. So if you erase something that you accidentally did, you can undo it and go back. So that's pretty much how this app is utilized. Like I said, there's two ways that I take notes. First is just generally, first and foremost, what I do is I put in the date. So for example, today is March 21, so I put in 3/21/25, right? And then I highlight this, and then I start on the next page, so that when you go back, it's at the top, so I know that that is that day that I took the notes. So that makes sure that that day I've taken that notes, and I know what day to go to see which notes that I took, so I'm well organized on that. Now on the actual note taking, I go down here on the next page and I start taking the notes. That's one of the ways I do it. Whenever the teacher starts giving me lectures, I just write down all the important stuff that I wanna, go back and learn more about it. If he says something that's gonna be the exam, I make sure that I highlight that. So let's say if let's say for business HR class, you have leadership here, and he says that it's going to be an exam. What I do is I highlight this so that I know that this is going to be an exam, so that I can go back and review it more. Another easy way that I found out recently that you can also take is, depending on what class you have, what professor you have, if the professor decides to put out the slideshows that he's going through, the outline of it on Carmen before the class starts, so that you know what lecture you're doing. For example, let's say for March 20 yesterday, if he put that out before the class, what I can do is, since he is going over this whole slideshow. I don't have to write down this whole thing. What I can do on that notability is I can click on that here, on that arrow with the square on it, and then I can click on notability, and then I can go to, let's say, add to another note. We don't want to create a new one because we already, so before I do this, I create a date that today is on there. So I already created a note folder, like how I did earlier. I did March 21st, that folder. So I want to add it to that so I can take notes on that. So I click on this, and then there it is right here, March 21. Click on that, and you hit next, and then you hit import, and you click done. Now if you go back to the Notability app again, and if you go down here, see you get all these automatically on there, on that folder that I created earlier, so you don't have to write everything down what he's saying. There are going to be certain things that you can go over. So for example, if he's going over job analysis, job design, you can add more details down here, make it more organized and stuff, and highlight certain words that he says that's going to be an exam. Like let's say for HRP, what that is, what does that mean, you take notes on that. So that makes it easier, so you don't have to write down everything. You can just play with the outline and take notes depending on what he says, what is going to be examined and everything. So that's pretty much how I take notes. And then there will be questions, like example of questions that he does throughout the slide. For example, this test or knowledge, the answer is not on here, but he does go over the answer in the class. So what I can do is I can highlight the answer. Like let's say for the answer to this is E, I highlight it, and then I come back to this later before the exam to study it more.